Can anybody confirm if my voice is audible?
Hi Vikas, good morning. Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Appara, for confirming. Let me share my screen as well. So let me know once my screen is visible.
Yeah,
Yeah. So as part of yesterday's session, we try to understand Go Online Train use case. And in case if we want to implement Go Online training use case as part of the on-premise, we have seen what are the steps needed to implement a project in the on-premise and what are the drawbacks of the on-premise. Then we went ahead with the cloud, and then we understand what are the different types of the cloud providers and why we are talking about especially on the Azure. And then we also started about the cloud advantages. Right. So let me just quickly give an overview on the advantages one more time, and then we'll continue our session. So the main first advantage of any cloud provider is that uh, it is giving you an option as a pay as you go. That means whenever you need any resources or services in the cloud, you can just pay for the usage. If you are using the resources for 1 month, just pay for 1 month. If you are using resources for just one day, pay for one day. Assume you are trying to implement a POC, and again you are not sure whether that POC will be successful or not. So in that case, if you want to implement any project, you just need a infrastructure just for 30 days. Then if you choose the cloud, uh, you just need to pay the amount only for the 30 days. So that is the advantage each and every cloud provider is giving. The next advantage we discussed about the scalability. Scalability means an ability to increase or decrease the resources based upon the requirement. Uh, Yesterday, we also talked about the Amazon Big Billion Day. So in general, normal days, Amazon require only like 1,000 servers, but on Big Billion Day, it might require 5,000 servers. The reason is, as on the Big Billion Day, Amazon will provide more offers to the users so that most number of users are willing to purchase the items and they want to use that offer provided by the Amazon. So obviously on the Big Billion Day, you will see huge amount of traffic for the Amazon. And now Amazon has to increase their capacity to 5,000 servers. But just for sake of one day, if Amazon want to purchase it 5,000 servers, it would be a waste per like it will be useful only for one day, and remaining all 364 days it will be an ideal. You cannot use the same resources for next 364 days. So instead, if they can choose the cloud provider, and in the cloud there is an option to scale up your resources and scale down your resources. On particular day you can increase your resources to 5,000 servers, and in normal days you can decrease it to 1,000 servers, so that it's just a matter of click. If you just click by providing the configuration, it will be it cloud provider will allocate your resources in just a minute. So that is the beauty of the cloud provider. That is one of the reason people are choosing the cloud. I hope so far you are with me, guys, right? Any doubts with respect to a study session?
Oh, okay. Fair
no,
enough.
Yeah,
no,
sure.
Vikas.
Sure. Thank you for confirming. Then we'll talk about the other advantages as well. So we'll just there is an another major advantage which is provided by any cloud provider is an high availability. What does this mean by an high availability? For instance, suppose I have taken one mission. Okay, I have taken one mission, one VM or mission from the cloud provider. Due to some reason, the mission goes down, or due to some power failure, or due to some electricity issue, this mission went down. So as soon as this mission goes down, I have another mission. Which is readily available along with your backup of VM. Okay. For example, if you have a mission and that mission has went down due to any reason, but as soon as this mission goes down, you have another mission which is readily available so that you can start using this another mission. That is called high availability. So what these cloud providers internally will do is that, so whenever you create any resource or any service in the Azure or any cloud, it will frequently take the backup of your service and the machine, and it will try to restore that backup in another mission, so that if your existing mission has any issues or failures, obviously you can straight away use the other mission so that you will not have any issues with the latency or performance or data loss. So that is called an high availability. Again, when you take any service, if something goes wrong, it's responsibility of the cloud provider that they need to give an assurance. Okay, for example, if you are taking any service or resource from the cloud provider, it's their responsibility to make that service run 99.9%. So just let's take one simple example. For example, you have your images or photos in your laptop, photos that you are trying to store in your laptop. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have your images or photos that you are trying to store in your laptop. And these are really important for you because those are your memorable pics. Okay. But you don't trust your laptop because laptop might have any issues, or your laptop might be stolen, or it might be broken. So you will not trust your laptop. And you know, those images are your memorable pics. So you intentionally keep your images as a backup, maybe in the pen drive, or you will store your images in your mobile, so that even if a laptop stolen or it was broken, still you have its backup. So here you are taking care about the backups. You are worrying about the backup. But if you choose the cloud provider, then it's cloud provider responsibility to take the backup. Again, if you store your images on the Google Drive, do you really bother where it is stored, in which laptop your images are stored, right? Google Drive is nothing but it's one of the cloud service. Everybody is using the Google Drive. So if you keep your images in the Google Drive, even if your laptop has broken, even if your laptop has stolen, or something has happened to your laptop, still you can able to access your Google images from anywhere of the world. right? It's just a matter, like if you just try to log into your Google Drive, you will able to access your images around the world because your images are stored in the cloud. Similarly, if you store any data in the cloud, it's cloud responsibility that it will keep maintaining the backup of data. You no need to worry anything about your backup. You no need to worry anything about your data loss. It's a cloud provider responsibility that they will try to maintain your data backup. So that is the main advantage people are choosing the cloud. For example, let's consider JP Morgan. JP Morgan has a lot of data, like they have so much of data. So if JP Morgan want to keep their data, they need to hire multiple people to keep the to take the backup and to restore in some other missions. So instead of hiring multiple resources, if they hide the cloud, if they choose a cloud, then it's cloud provider responsibility to take the backup. And as soon as something is happened to your resources, it's cloud provider responsibility to provide the other resources or other VM immediately so that you will not have any network latency. Again, almost all cloud providers are giving an assurance that 99.99%. Like if you see AWS, Azure, and GCP, every cloud provider is giving an assurance that they are giving 99.99% high availability. If you choose any resource, the cloud is telling that they are claiming that they are able to provide 99.99% high availability, meaning that 99.99% your services will run without any issue. If you face any issues, again, you can just penalty your cloud provider. Because this is the assurance they are giving. In case if they are not able to solve their issue, you can penalty your cloud provider. So that comes under the high availability. I hope you understand the meaning of high availability, right? Okay, let me move into the next another feature called an agility. I think most of them are already working in IT industry. They hear so many things like agile. Okay, agile is nothing but instead of delivering, like you will able to deliver the software as quickly as possible, right? So in terms of the cloud, agility is nothing but it allows you to quickly access to compute resources without delays. Imagine if you join a new company and to get a laptop, at least it might take up a week, right? If you join a company to get a laptop, it might take a week. Sometimes it may even take 2 weeks. Just think from company perspective. They hired a resource, they are giving the salary, but still they are not using the resource for the first 2 weeks because still they are waiting for the laptop. Without laptop, we cannot do any work. So it's just a loss for the organization, though we are getting a salary, but if you think from an organization perspective, still it is not a productive. Again, if you are a big data developer, you want to start a project, and if you want to start a project if you want 10 machines for a cluster. And if it is an on-premise, you need to wait huge amount of time because it needs a lot of process. They need an approvals. They need to purchase the software. They need to install required software. So it needs a lot of time. But if it's a cloud, you will get all your resources in a minute. So think from a company perspective. By delivering, for example, if it is an on-premise, if it takes 10 days to create a cluster for 100 machines, if it is a cloud, if you are able to create those resources just in a minute, think from a company perspective. You are delivering a product 10 days earlier so that company can achieve significant cost saving because you are delivering a product 10 days earlier. Because as we all know that all service-based companies will work based upon the number of hours. So assume you have hired 10 big data engineers, okay, per each day 8 hours. For 10 developers, it is 80 hours. And if they are ideal for 10 days, that means 800 hours, the company loses if you choose the on-premise. But if you choose the cloud, you will just get your resources in a minute. As soon as the resources are created, all big data developers can start immediately their project. So the company saved 800 hours. So for 800 hours, they are getting a profit. They are getting a bill from the customer. So such that it will just give a huge profit to the company. So again, that is one of the reason the company is choosing the cloud, because they are getting their resources as early as possible. They are getting lot of time saved, and they do not need to spend initial investment at infront, and they do not need to worry anything about the backup. It's cloud provider responsibility that they are keeping the backups. They are restoring it as early as possible, and they are giving 99.99% availability. And again, whenever you need more resources, the cloud itself increasing the resources, and whenever you need to decrease your resources, the cloud itself decreasing the resources. You are just paying for the usage. So these are the main 4 advantages that any cloud provider is giving. That is the reason companies are migrating to the cloud. Any questions so far? Any doubts? Let me just pause here to check if you have understand the concept so far. So silence, can I read silence whether you have understood completely or you have not understood anything?
Yeah, we are okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for confirming. Yeah, then cloud computing, like there are 3 different types of services which are available as part of any cloud. Again, just give an example. Consider cloud as an Walmart or any Amazon, any store where you will able to get your groceries, where you will able to get your electronic items, where you will able to get your medicine items, okay, where you are able to purchase the clothes and everything. Okay, so the cloud offers variety of the services, like it has offered so many services, but we cannot use all the services. And again, we will discuss only the services which are needed for our data engineering. Maybe we might use only few services, but as a cloud, it will give so many number of services, and it's up to the people decide which services they want to use it. Basically, they have segregated their services in 3 ways. The first one is an IaaS, that is nothing but infrastructure as a service. PaaS is nothing but platform as a service. SaaS is nothing but software as a service. So let's understand infrastructure as a service. What exactly infrastructure as a service? It means that you just want a machine or VM. For example, you just need a machine or VM, and you want to manage your machine. That means once the cloud, you are just asking cloud provider that, hey, give me a machine. It's just leave it with me. It's my responsibility, or I will take care whether I will install Windows, whether I will install Mac, whether I will install Linux. I will decide, and just give the VM. I will install all the required softwares and I will maintain. I will take care about the backup. I will take care about the licenses. I will take care about the patches. You just give me a machine. So here you will own your resources. You will just own your resources. So you will have full control on your resources. Okay. And generally all banking companies are, they will use the IaaS because they don't want to keep their data as a public platform, because they feel that it might have security breaches. Maybe people might think that they don't want to deploy their applications on the cloud. They just need a VM, because if they choose this VM as an on-premise, again, it needs a lot of permissions. It needs a lot of approvals. They need to wait so much of time. So instead, they will choose IaaS as a service where they can get the mission, and you will have full control on your mission, and you will take all maintenance kind of activities. Obviously, it is more secure, but you need to maintain, you need to do all maintenance activities. Examples of IaaS will be VM, virtual machine, or storage account.
Because IAS is like a admin role, right?
It is just a service where you just use that service, but all the maintenance activities you will take care, like just like an admin who will take care of the backup of your database, who will take up of the licensing part, patches part, upgrades part. So just whatever all the administration people are doing, maybe you will do all of those activities if you choose an IaaS.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
The next
got it.
service which we are talking about is an platform as a service. It's just like having a ready-made platform for developers. Like again, you said that I don't care whether you run my program on Windows, Linux, Mac. I don't care. I just need to deploy my program. I want to run it on the cloud. I just want to focus on the coding and building applications. I don't want to delay anything with respect to the infrastructure. So that comes under the PaaS, like where you will not worry about underlying infrastructure. You just focus on your actual development. If you choose an IaaS, you will focus on what OS you need to install, everything, you will worry about it. And whereas PaaS, you will not worry anything about the underlying infrastructure. You just need a platform so that you can develop your project, and you will just focus on your developing your project. The cloud provider takes care of the hardware and software setup so that it will allow the developers to easily deploy their applications. So it saves a lot of time, right? Because they no need to worry anything about infrastructure. Examples of this PaaS would be like Azure Function Apps or Azure Logic Apps. Don't worry. As part of these sessions, we'll discuss a small examples on this Logic Apps. But for now, like just think that in the Azure Function Apps, you can run any of the code. You can run your Python code, you can run your Java code, you can run your .NET code. So underlying in which OS it is using, we don't worry. So we'll just use this service, we'll develop our application, we will develop our project, and will not worry anything about underlying infrastructure. So that comes under the platform as a service. The next one is software as a service. It is like having a software applications and demand. Instead of installing software on your device, you can access and use them through the internet. Instead of installing software on your device or VM, you can access them using internet. All cloud providers will handle all about software maintenance and updates, so you don't have to worry anything about it. You simply pay a subscription fee to use the software. Again, take an example, AHA, or take an example, Gmail. Whether you will install Gmail software, you can install. Again, you can just, if you have credentials, you can directly access the Gmail. You no need to worry how the software is developed, which language they have used to develop the Gmail, and no need to install anything. You just need to access that software. Again, another example would be an IRCTC. Like you're just accessing their software just using your username and password. Maybe sometimes you need to pay little bit subscription fee, just like Netflix Prime. You are not worrying how that software is developed, but you are still using and you are just paying a subscription fee. So that comes under the software as a service. Examples of software as a service is nothing but, again, Gmail, Dropbox, Office 365, like so many examples. Like the software is already developed, which we are just using it by using our username and password. We no need to install anything on our device and VM. We can access these softwares across the globe just using an internet. So that is one of the service which is provided by any of the cloud provider. So the cloud provides three types of services. IaaS, where you will be own your services and you will need to take care about your all maintenance activities. You need to take care about your infrastructure, underlying platform and everything. If you choose the PaaS, you don't need to worry anything about the infrastructure, but you can start focusing on your development, and you can develop your projects and you can deploy your projects to the cloud. Whereas if you choose the SaaS, software as a service, you don't need to focus anything about the infrastructure. You don't need to focus anything about the project. You just need to use already existing softwares by just logging into them, and you can access those software using an internet across the globe. So that comes under the software as service. Are we clear so far?
Yes, because I have one doubt. So for being project, we need all these three services, or anyone is service is enough for us?
No. Again, for example, if your company want, for example, if it is your, assume that you are working for a JP Morgan company. Okay, it is a banking company. So they don't want to expose their data in the cloud. Okay, maybe they might choose an IaaS because they'll just use the VM, which is provided by the cloud, and they will take care of developing their project and infrastructure. But assume that for some projects, still they are choosing platform as service and they just want to deploy their projects directly. They don't want to worry anything about the infrastructure. Then they might choose the platform as a service. So it depends upon the customer. Again, as a data engineer, we no need to worry anything about whether the customer is choosing infrastructure as a service, whether the customer is choosing PaaS, whether the customer is choosing a SaaS, because these will be discussed during the initial agreement project sign up, and these will be mostly handled by your infrastructure team like DevOps team or your project management team. So once your platform is ready, then only our data engineers comes into the picture where they can start developing their projects. So we no need to worry anything much about these details. It's just, if it is good to have the knowledge, what is this? But again, as a data engineer, you no need to focus much on all these details.
Okay, okay, got it now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we'll talk about the different types of the cloud. There are three types of clouds available. The first one is an private cloud. Let me first talk about this private cloud. Maybe you are a rich, just like Elon Musk. Okay. Elon Musk don't need anybody. He can make his own cloud. He can create his own data centers. In different regions, maybe in the US region, in the India region, in the UK region. He can create different data centers, and he can connect all of this using his own network. Okay. So here, if you choose the private cloud, again, you will be own your cloud. In general, if you keep your, if you are owning your cloud, that means only your company or your team will able to access your resources or services, because it's a private cloud. So you will just only your company or your team will have access for the resources. So where you will have more security, because nobody from the outside organization is able to access your cloud. Obviously, it needs a more cost. And again, as I said, only the rich people like Elon Musk, they want to create their cloud, meaning again, they will create their data centers. Just let me give you what is exactly data center. So whenever we are telling that the cloud, for example, we are trying to access any of the resources through the cloud. So what exactly the cloud is nothing but just a minute. So this is a typical a data center where it has its own building, and they will maintain all of the servers in a room which will have its own electricity power and cooling power. Okay. So whenever you are telling that you are using a cloud, meaning that you are trying to access these resources virtually, but those resources definitely will reside at one of the physical location, right? So that physical location is nothing but the data center. Though you are trying to access any cloud resources through the internet, but those resources ideally exist physically in any one of the data center. Okay. So meaning the private cloud, that means it's an, again, they will create their own data center. They will try to create, rent a building where they will create all these servers, and they will maintain all electricity power and cooling power. And if you see, all these servers are placed, and if you see, this is a vertical, this is called as a rack. Okay. So in general, all cloud providers will establish multiple data centers across multiple regions, so that, and they will establish the networking so that you will able to access the servers from the internet. So this is a typical data center. Then public cloud. Public cloud is nothing but anybody can go and take service from the cloud. You will store your data. I will store my data. Someone else also stores their data. At the end of the day, a big server is splitted for 4 to 5 clients. Assume you have a Google Drive. Okay. And in Google Drive, like I will store my data, even Appara will store his data, and Dhirendra will store his data. But at the end of the day, whether Google Drive is creating a separate server or a machine for your images, not right. So they were just creating a same server, and they're just creating, they are keeping your data, my data, and everybody's data in the same server. But they are make sure that they are having high security. If Apara is able to access his images, he will only able to see his images. If I'm able to log in, and I am only able to see my images. So that is nothing but a public cloud where anybody can take the service and can use the service. And if you take a machine, it is a subset of the larger server. At the end of the day, you are storing your data on the same server where others also stores their data. But no need to worry how cloud is giving only your data when you are requested. So cloud has still, it is providing the security. Think of it like going to a public place, and maybe if you go to any of the temples, you will just take a locker, right, to keep your mobiles and all your luggage. And it's a public place. You will get your own locker and you will get own key, but in the same place, somebody else also keep their mobiles and luggage, right? So it isn't just like that. Examples of public cloud providers is nothing but AWS, GCP, and Azure. These all are providing public cloud. But again, they are giving a security. Compared to private cloud, public cloud is little cheap. Here, you will not own your cloud. Instead, cloud provider will own it. You will just use it and it will have security. And anybody can access the public cloud, but everybody has their own security. Like again, if I use the public cloud, my organization will set up security showing that only my team members will only able to access these resources. This security can be configured using various tools, like one is Azure Active Directory or firewall encryption. Data masking, private endpoints. Like again, it doesn't mean that if you choose the public cloud, will not have the security. The cloud will give so many security features and still it is a more secure. So, but at the end of the day, it will be a less cost compared to the private cloud. And here, instead of you are maintaining and everything, the cloud provider will take care of all those things. Then coming to the hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but a combination of private cloud plus public cloud. A combination of private cloud and a public cloud. Again, the reason why people are choosing hybrid cloud is that, for example, again, take an example of a banking project. They might have sensitive data and they might have non-sensitive data. Sensitive data in the sense they might have their name, mobile number, credit card number, account number, PAN card number, Aadhaar card number, anything which is specific to a person. So those all will be considered as sensitive data. And again, they might have non-sensitive data, like number of transactions, whether it is in saving account or current account, or how many number of transactions he has made, what all the policies is using, what all the features. So every project might have some sensitive data and non-sensitive data. If they keep, if they want to use private cloud, obviously it will be a huge cost. And if they want to use public cloud, they might think that it still have security issues because they are maintaining security sensitive data. So in such situations, companies adapts both private cloud and public cloud. where they will store the sensitive data in the private cloud and they will store non-sensitive data in the public cloud, so that they will have less cost. Because if you choose only private cloud, it will be definitely high cost. And if they choose only public cloud, their sensitive data, like they might think that they might have the security issues. So that's the reason people might use, few organizations still use the hybrid cloud, where they will use both private cloud and the public cloud. So it's about the types of the cloud. Then maybe I will just start with an Azure account creation today. Maybe in tomorrow's class, we'll start talking about the data center, region, availability zones, geo replication. Then once we completed these topics, uh, everything will be a practical. So we'll have only one day tomorrow. We'll just cover these topics. Once it is done, we can begin our practical sessions from day after tomorrow. From day after tomorrow, we are directly using Azure portal for creation of the storage accounts. Then we will start the ADF. So maybe tomorrow we'll just have little bit theory session, and then if time permits, we'll start. We'll try to create one storage account in tomorrow's session. Okay, but before that, to do all our practical work or practical assignments, it is mandatory that everybody should have their account. Okay, so one thing, Microsoft, like again, will provide a free account creation. Like if you just type Azure free subscription creation, if you just type the Google Azure free subscription, it will just open this page where you can create your free account. And if you create this free account, you will get free services. Like few of the services you will get as a free for next 12 months. And it will be like, once you create your free subscription, you will get $2,100 of the credits. Just consider it as a credit. You cannot treat them as a money. You cannot withdraw this amount, but you will get $200 as a credits. You can use this 200 credits to create any of the resources or any of the services. It will be only valid for 30 days. So to create your free subscription, just click on the start free. It will ask you few details, like as I have already an account, it is giving me to pick my account. But in case if you don't have an already account, just click on use another account. You need to create one Microsoft account. Just click on create one. Guys, it will ask you to enter your credit card details. Okay, and again, don't worry. You just enter your credit card details. It will not charge you. It might charge you 1 rupee or 2 rupees just to validate whether your credit card is a valid or not. Once you entered your credit card details, it will just create your free subscription. You can use that free subscription for the next 30 days. After, for example, you created like 30 to 40 resources, maybe using free subscription with $200. Maybe you might use 10 services you created using your free subscription. And after 30 days, your free subscription will expire. After 30 days, these services will be disabled. You cannot access these services. If you want to access them, you need to upgrade your subscription to as a pay as you go. Okay, after 30 days, if you want to use these resources, services, you need to upgrade your subscription to pay as you go. But for our practice purpose, we don't need any pay as you go subscription. Still, we can use free subscription that will be valid for the next 30 days. After this 30 days is over, maybe just remind me after 25 days, we'll start discussing about CI/CD, so that we'll just take backup of your code. We'll just after 25 days, we'll discuss about CI/CD. We'll just take backup of our code, and then we'll create another account, free account. Here with another credit card, another mobile number, another email ID. These three are the unique for your account creation. After 30 days, you can create another free account by using another credit card number, another mobile number, and another email ID. Though Microsoft tells that it will allows only credit cards, I have seen few people still they are able to create their subscription using debit cards as well. Sometimes though people has credit card, they are unable to create their Azure free subscription. The reason is that they have not enabled international transactions. Few people might get this issue. They will not able to create their subscription using their credit card because they have not enabled international transactions. So in case if you face this issue, talk to your credit card providers, ask them to enable international transactions. It will charge you like 1 to 2 rupees. So once if you enable your international transaction, then you will able to create your Azure free subscription. So we will continue our training sessions with the free subscription only. Just try this. Everybody, please try to create a free subscription by tomorrow. In case if you have any issues, we'll discuss as part of tomorrow's session. But please start creating Azure free account subscription. For that, you need to use your credit card. You need to have a mobile number. You need to have an email ID, which is Outlook. Again, if you are already using an Visual Studio across your organization, you will get a Visual Studio subscription also, where you will get every month 12,000 rupees worth credits. If you are using already, if your organization is using Visual Studio and they have license with the Microsoft, maybe you can create an subscription with Visual Studio also. But this is specific to your organization. You will get every month 12,000 rupees worth. Then you no need to create multiple accounts or subscription. You can continue using Visual Studio subscription for entire duration. Even you can use your Visual Studio subscription every month. So just start creating the Azure free subscription, and maybe in the tomorrow session we'll discuss about the other topics. Then from day after tomorrow we'll have our practical sessions. Mostly in case if time permits, we'll create a storage account in tomorrow session as well only. Okay, and just please everybody, please fill this form. It is mandatory that once you fill this form, you will get the email invitation every day, so that we no need to ping every day individually. So we will get all your class details and recordings access if you just enroll as part of this link. I think everybody is able to see the link which Madhav has posted. Please try to fill your details so that you will able to access the recordings. You will able to get your meeting IDs, and you will also get the job support and placement support which is provided by the institute. So make sure to please fill these details without fail. With that, I'm just pausing here and I'm open here to answer any of your questions. And also, I need a feedback whether I'm going too fast or too slow, or you are following with the flow. Just give me a little bit feedback so that at least I can rectify myself. Any questions? Anybody has any questions? Maybe you can unmute yourself and you can ask any questions.
Yeah, Vikas. So Azure account creation we will create ourselves, or tomorrow session we will.
No, you create yourself in case if you are able to face any issues, let me know. And try to
So
create tomorrow itself only. Don't create today because again it's a 1 day waste. Try to create tomorrow morning.
okay.
You just need to provide some basic details like your email ID, your phone number, and your credit card, your first name, last name, your location. It will be a simple. It won't a complicated one.
So you don't have any specific URL for this, right? So directly you can go and Google and set
Yep,
account
yep, yep,
creation.
yep.
Oh, okay, right.
Madhav,
Thank you.
question to you. Like Shiva Verma has filled the form, but he has not get any email about today's class. Maybe please uh, forward the email invitation to everybody who has filled the form. Yeah, Shiva, sure. We'll ask institute team to send the invite without fail. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. If there are no questions, I think we can drop the end the today's session.